as I got older, my mom was diagnosed with frontal lobe dementia, and she passed away 3.5 years ago, and that's when I got into peptides. I thought, like, there is no way I want to live like she had to live, and there is no way any of these other women around me should ever go through this, and I think it could have been prevented through HRT and through the support of peptides.
All right. Hi, this is Brooke Howald with Optimize by Design. So happy to have you here today.
Thank you.
So we're going to be talking about all things peptides.
Great.
Yeah. And this is Kristen Abel.
Hi. And Brooke and I actually go way back. We were neighbors when we very first met. And then, funny enough, we have like so many friends in common from college that like I grew up with, and she's from Texas, you're from Texas, I'm from Oklahoma.
Oh,
so
nice.
we have a lot of
circle.
We have the Southern Belt here.
Yeah.
Yes. And y'all are both in Denver. I'm
Yeah.
in Austin. I'm Lindsay Harris. And Kristen and I are in the perimenopause space. And peptides are a big topic these days.
Huge topic in the wellness space right now.
Yeah.
Well, she knows all the things. And I thought when she told me, I don't know, a few years ago, I saw her one day just like probably at the coffee shop or the gym, and she had something on her arm. And I'm like, Brooke, what are you doing? She's like, well, I'm, monitoring my blood sugar. I'm like, what? No idea what she was talking about. And now I'm like, oh, shoot. Brooke was like 3 years ahead of me on everything she was doing. But I didn't know that I needed it because I hadn't like gone down into the deep pit of perimenopause. Right. So I just thought, well, Brooke's, I don't know what she's talking about, but she's real into this and that. And she's like a woo-woo.
Yep.
And then here we are. And now I'm like, dang it, I wish I'd have started all of it like 3 years ago. So she's a wealth of knowledge in all things peptides.
Yes. Thank you. And so talking about the woo-woo space, how did you get into the peptide?
That's a great question. I actually got woo-woo. I think I was born a little woo-woo. I think my mom was a little woo-woo. I grew up in Dallas. I was a vegetarian when I was 9, which I would never do now. But the health food stores started coming. Austin got like one of the first health food stores. We had friends there. I would go and like be in the bins where you can like scoop out your protein.
Yes.
At like 10 years old, trying to get like protein in my orange juice. So I've always been into like health and wellness. And then college, went to school in Denver, got a little bit more into wellness and some energy healing. And then I moved out to San Francisco. And that's when all of this got really crazy. And I was always like 3 years ahead, especially being in San Francisco, of whatever wellness trend was going on. So if it's out there, I've probably tried it, researched it, studied it, got certified in it. And I had an autoimmune diagnosis in my late 20s when I was under a lot of stress, and I got even more into wellness. And that's when I started getting some certifications so that I didn't take any medications that were recommended. I healed myself through my own protocols with supplements, energy healing, all the things. And then as I got older, my mom was diagnosed with frontal lobe dementia, and she passed away 3.5 years ago. And that's when I got into peptides. Wow. I thought, like, there is no way I want to live like she had to live. And there is no way any of these other women around me should ever go through this. And I think it could have been prevented through HRT and through the support of peptides. And that's when I started going down that rabbit hole. So about 3.5 years ago is when I really got into researching, working with doctors, practitioners that were kind of in the forefront of all this, and reading all the books and getting all the certifications. And then about a year ago, I thought, for years, people have been like, you should do wellness coaching. You should do this. And a lot of things had happened in our lives that didn't allow for me to go back into the workforce. But about a year ago, I had a friend say, like, I think it's time. I think like our son had some challenges, some neurodiversities, and he was kind of coming around, and it was time. And so we started developing this business idea, my husband and I, and we kept it really quiet. We kind of have this saying in our house, like, don't share until you're ready to share. Like, until it's done.
You are.
Yeah. Like, until it's done, don't share it with anyone, because we don't need opinions. We don't need feedback. We don't need any of it. And so I think a lot of people were like, wow, where did this peptide coaching business come from? And really it had been talked about for the last year. And I just kind of popped it up. What was the month? November
recently.
Is when I started really working with the public. And and sharing my experiences with peptides and all the research that I've done over the last 3 years. And it's just been awesome. I've been able to, well, with my own healing, I started by healing a shoulder injury that I had for 20 years that no doctor, no therapist, no one could fix. Boom, BPC 157, shoulder is fixed in 2 months.
Wow.
Fascinating. So then from there, it was like brain health, perimenopausal symptoms, all of that I was able to support myself with.
Mhm.
And now with the practice, with my Optimized by Design, I do wellness coaching with a focus on peptides.
Okay.
And I just share all of that information and success with my clients. And it's been awesome. I mean, the feedback that I get is, it's like my passion project.
Right.
I've just always wanted to help people.
Right.
And now I do that with peptides, amongst other
Well,
things.
you've always been helping people, but now you turned it into an
Yeah.
actual business.
Yeah. Now I'm getting paid to help
Which
people,
I
which
love
is
that.
cool. But it's fun. And I get to watch people heal. And most of my clients are in between the ages of like 35 and 65.
Mhm.
And they're mostly women.
Right.
And then the men come later.
Right.
It's the husbands. And
Yeah.
they're like, hold on, like put me on whatever my wife is on.
Right.
I'll have what she's having. So it's been really cool just to see the transformations. I've had women, two of my clients had terrible PCOS and they have 0 symptoms now. Fascinating because they've been to doctor after doctor who've put them on, synthetic high dose birth control, which did not support.
Right.
They could have been doing something like an HRT. Now they're able to bring down inflammation in their body with the use of these signaling molecules. So it's pretty
Well,
cool.
I want to back up because
Yeah.
you were talking about your mother. How old was your mother when she passed away?
She was 75.
Okay.
Yep.
So did she ever do HRT?
No, great question. So she was back in that time when she was going through perimenopause, menopause. It was when everybody was like, oh my gosh, hormones cause cancer. I can still remember being in the car with her and her being like, roll down the windows. And I remember asking her, I fully remember asking her, isn't there something you can do for this? And she said, no, it's not safe. And
Wow.
so I absolutely, with all of my heart, believe that if she
Yes.
had HRT, she would have not been in that predicament.
Right. Yeah. That's
It's a
the
shame.
hard, and on our previous podcast, it was also a woman who got into the business because of what her mother had to go through. I had to grow up with a mom that was suffering terribly from hormonal issues. So it is interesting. It's like we've all been affected by it.
Yeah.
So with your mom, you said, was she always into health and wellness?
She was. She could have done better for herself. But big picture, like in the time we were growing up with all the McDonald's and whatever, my parents were very different. We didn't go to fast food restaurants, but she had she was a little bit of a sugarholic. And I think that wasn't helpful for her.
Right.
And that could have been hormones driving that.
Exactly.
So I really do think that there was some of that. But otherwise, just both my parents were very into wellness and health. They talked a lot about nutrition with me. Like, we're going to go get a donut on Saturday. We need to have our eggs for protein. A lot of explanation behind the why.
Right.
So,
That's great. And then it sounds like with your husband, you kind of coming together, it sounds like you have a support system, like
it's wonderful.
when you were ready to start this business. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, he's been amazing. And he's also been a great guinea pig through all this because he's been dealing with my woo-woo stuff for as long as we've known each other.
And we say woo-woo, but it's not woo-woo.
It's not.
It's not.
And it's actually science.
Yeah,
it's actually
turns out,
science.
yes.
It's actually science
Yeah.
and intuitive medicine. And
right.
I say that it's not even a joke. And I think we really have to take it out of our vocabulary because it's one of those things.
But it is what I thought when I first met you.
And that's what everyone thinks. And I do think I have a woo-woo side. I'm very into energy healing and energy work. And he has been like, he will watch me. I'm certified in Reiki. I'm certified in all these weird things, but he'll watch me go through Reiki and he's like, okay, I want to jump on that train. He'll watch me do, acupuncture, all of the things, the red light, the saunas, the, whatever we're doing at the time. And so he has been my guinea pig through all of that. But then with the peptides, he's been a great resource because I try the more male focused peptides with him and he's just awesome.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah.
And he feels so good. So he's been very supportive.
Well, I've noticed just from, following and trying to understand peptides, first of all, it can be very overwhelming. And peptides, What exactly is a peptide?
A peptide is just a short chain of amino acids, and you have thousands of peptides naturally occurring in your body. So they're not like new. I love that, like, everyone's like, oh, these new biohacking things. They're not new. They live in your body. They've lived in our bodies for hundreds of thousands of years. So peptides are just small chains of amino acids, and our body recognizes them, and they send signals to your body. They bind to receptors on the cell and tell your body what to do, whether that's decrease inflammation, produce collagen, brain health, insulin, work on insulin sensitivity, all of these things that support our entire system. As we age, the signaling goes down.
Right.
And we're supplementing.
Right.
And we're amplifying those signals so that they work again.
So these are all things that our body produced naturally,
Yes.
but as we age, we lose like the function.
Just like aging.
They just don't work as well.
They're not
So it's not
as strong.
that they disappear.
No, they don't disappear.
Function
but
like they once did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not signaling optimally. So when we use peptides, we're sending those signals louder as they were when we were in our 20s or when we were kids. And so it's supporting systems that are already there.
Right. So insulin is a peptide.
Insulin is a peptide. It was discovered in the 1921.
Right.
It's been around forever.
And then the GLP-1s, they're peptides.
Yep.
So there are so many. Okay. The one question I've been asking myself is, like with hormone replacement, they have bioidentical hormones, which they're basically replicating what your body makes. With peptides, it's not like they're bioidentical,
right,
but they replicate what
your body has seen this before.
Okay.
So yes, they're made in a lab
Mm-hmm.
based on peptides in your body already existing. So then when we replace through injection or sometimes oral, it's not always very effective.
Not as effective.
Yes, because it's broken down in the stomach too quickly. But then it sends these messages to your body to do what it already naturally does. Same peptides it's seen before, just slightly altered, of course, which is why some of peptides aren't FDA approved, is because no one can get a patent on, for example, with BPC 157, it's made out of a protein already in your stomach. So how do we, it's really hard to make money.
Which is why we can't patent hormones because our body already makes them.
Yep, exactly. They're naturally occurring. Anything naturally occurring in the body, you can't own that.
Yes.
Right.
So with so many, it's very overwhelming when you really dig in. And I've noticed looking and researching different med spas and peptide companies online. It's everywhere. And there's so many options. I just want to kind of break it down into some of your favorites.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about like mainstream peptides.
Yep.
We all kind of understand the GLP space, but for GLPs also act as anti-inflammatory
100%
peptides.
I will say I'm a huge fan of a microdose for GLP-1, and I mean a real microdose. I won't go into dosing on here because it's unnecessary, but a real microdose isn't often what you're getting at a med spa. They may say you're getting a microdose. I have many clients come my way that are not on a microdose, and they were told they were. But you can get these benefits of anti-inflammatory, brain health, cardiovascular health, all this microdosing helps all of these systems in our bodies by decreasing inflammation. And it's fascinating. Like, in my opinion, everyone should be microdosing a GLP-1. That's just my thoughts. It's so beneficial.
But you mean everyone past a certain age?
Oh yeah, not my daughter who's 12,
right?
But I'm in our space,
especially in the
space.
perimenopause space,
100%.
Because that's when you really you're working harder than you've ever worked to try to keep yourself fit and
for
in
a
shape.
less desirable result. And everything's like huffy and slower and
100%
sore and everything hurts
because our signals aren't firing at full force. And so a microdose of a GLP-1 is great. I also love like a BPC 157.
So let's take BPC 157. That's an anti-inflammatory.
It's tissue repair, anti-inflammatory. It really supports healing the gut. which then in turn can really help with our mood.
That is what happened to me instantly.
It's crazy.
My stomach hurt so bad. And I was like, Brooke, my stomach hurts. She's like, it's a good thing.
It's healing you.
Yeah.
So did it go away?
Yeah. But it
Oh.
hurt like for the first like 2 or 3 weeks.
And I would
Like,
say
pretty
that's not a
bad.
common reaction. Kristen is very sensitive.
Yeah, very sensitive. But
So
then
am I.
my knees did get better when
Yep.
we went to like a higher dose and didn't take time off. But I do truly think it helped my stomach first because it was what needed to be repaired even more so than my knees. Because I selfishly wanted to repair my knees for tennis.
Like straight to the knees.
Yeah.
Tennis and skiing.
Yeah, tennis and skiing, but it instantly, so I think it knows, right?
It does.
Like what needs repair, and it goes instantly to the
the source of injury. And I think it's so cool because I had a client call me out of Dallas today and he said, okay, I got my BPC 157. Should I inject it in? He's using it for plantar fasciitis. Should I inject it directly into my foot? And I'm like, no, don't do that. He's like, good. I don't want it.
Well, that was one of my questions.
Yes, but no, it's signaling. It signals to your body like repair inflamed tissue.
Okay.
It's soft tissues, inflammation, anything like that. It finds it. You don't have to. A lot of people, I mean, if you had like a really skilled doctor using an ultrasound, he could stick a needle down into a joint. And that's not something we ever want to do at home or with almost anyone, or it's just not necessary.
It's not necessary.
So it finds the source and it puts out the fire. It's awesome. I really think it's like one of the best peptides out there. That's how I healed my shoulder.
So that one is different from the GLP one in that it helps with stomach or gut health.
It does help with gut health. And it is because it's derived from a protein in your gut already. And so it's one of the best gut health. There's also one KPV that I like to use for gut health as well. Also anti-inflammatory for the entire body, but very much targeted towards the gut. So those two, I have people with that's a hard one. Ulcerative colitis.
Yeah.
Ulcerative colitis. I don't know. Yeah.
Use it. Just lots of all the GI issues. And apparently we all have gut issues, right?
What was the second one you mentioned?
KPV.
Okay.
And that is a wonderful one for the gut. And lots of people that are a little bit worried about how the GLP-1 might affect their stomach if they have pre-existing stomach conditions. I will always have them start on a BPC 157 and or KPV prior. Yes, so we can do that prep work. And I've not had one person have an issue. And I have people with some serious stomach stuff. So it's super healing.
So if you were going to, let's just say you were going to give people like the top 5 favorite peptides. Like what's another one of your favorites?
So top favorite, low dose GLP-1, specifically Tirzepatide, BPC 157. I love SS31. It's an awesome mitochondria peptide. So as we age, our mitochondria
That's our brain.
age. You have mitochondria in your brain. You have mitochondria all over your body.
Okay.
And what it does is it repairs the mitochondria so that you can, produce energy so that the body functions properly. But yes, there's mitochondria in our brain. I use SS31 with people with traumatic brain injuries. Really supports them. And then I don't use NAD or haven't used NAD personally for certain reasons yet. I'm going to try it. I know it's been around forever. I've just avoided it because I'm very sensitive to things that are stimulating. But with my clients, people love NAD+. And that really is the fuel for the mitochondria. And so, you're deficient in NAD when you start to feel sluggish and things like this as we age.
And can you test that in your blood?
You
or no?
can test. You
or
can
it's
test for
that
NAD.
Symptom. You can
you
test
can
for
test for
NAD.
it, but like
Okay.
hormones, it's inevitable. Your NAD is declining. There are NAD specific tests, but they're $300 to $500. I always tell people just try it.
Spend the money on the peptide.
Yeah,
and
people
see if
love
you
it.
feel better.
Yes, and see if you feel better. Might as well just try the peptide. It's not going to hurt. And yes, you are deficient. So that's a popular one. But I really, in my opinion, when I'm working with perimenopausal women, I like to bring down inflammation. I like to work on the mitochondria, and I like to really work on our insulin sensitivity. And those are my 3
So the
points.
insulin sensitivity is actually the GLP.
GLP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the combo, right?
Yeah.
If we can fix all of those things, our body really works
Mhm.
optimally. And I haven't seen anything else. And then there's peptides for all sorts of things. You can
Yeah.
take a peptide to tan.
Right.
You can take a peptide
Wait,
to
you
want to have
can?
sex with your husband.
Well, I want to know about the tanning peptide. Am I going to suddenly
It's called
become...
Melanotan
Oh.
2.
Do you know that I've been dreaming about this my whole life?
You
When
should
all my
try it.
friends go to the beach and I have to sit under the shade.
Yeah,
Does it actually work?
it does.
Okay,
You can't
on that.
overdo it because you can look orange. If you see people at the
Yeah.
gym and they're orange, they're
Yes,
overdoing
like the bodybuilders.
Wait, does Trump
Yep.
take it?
it. He might. He might. I've had that question in my mind multiple times.
I
think
can't
he just
wait
raised
to
hands.
tell
Yeah.
my fellow redheads that we can potentially
I mean,
change the
you
burning.
can give it a go.
I'm
But
gonna give it a go.
but then the GHKCU, love that.
Mhm.
Skin tightening. It also works on inflammation in the body, tendon injuries, etc. So it's like, yeah, you get the beauty, the glow from the GHKCU, but then you also get the internal benefits as well. I love that one.
Mhm.
I actually cycle that frequently. What else?
So none
There's
of
so
these
many.
that
What
you've
about-
listed has to be taken all the time to maintain the benefit aside from the GLP.
Yeah, and you know what? With a GLP, you can cycle on and off. At a microdose, I
Yeah.
truly believe people could just take it forever.
Mhm.
I do like taking a break for like a month and
Mhm.
just letting your receptors.
But generally,
take a
the
break.
ones we've talked about, you can go
You cycle on and off. Yep.
Okay.
You don't want to stay on any peptide for too long because it can burn out the receptors and they get used to it. Like
Right.
even with NAD,
Right.
you don't want to take NAD every day because at some point your body's like, well,
I don't need to make
yeah,
that anymore.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I think something we were talking about before we started filming is that, I was at a party and here, some 20-year-olds that are rail thin talking about taking the shot, and that can be abused.
yeah.
There's a lot of people abusing it, and with this space, just like with HRT, you can't just take the medicine without caring for yourself. A lot of these things, if you're not eating enough fiber, you can get dehydrated, you can pass out, you can become malnourished. Young people, you made a comment about, and I think this is true because I was asking about the human growth hormone type peptides because the kids are all on the bandwagon. And I remember when I was a kid, it was like, let's go hard.
Yeah.
We're not into health. We're into the results.
Yeah.
And you said something that I think is a great topic of conversation is that they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So, you could provide education. I don't know, to the families, to the parents, like it's important. And I don't think people understand that this has to be done in tandem with staying hydrated, taking care of yourself, eating right.
Well, and to make sure you're getting clean quality peptides.
Yes.
Because if your kid's going to
Yes.
do it anyways, like you
Sourcing
don't
is
want them to
major.
get it from like a shady source if they're going to do it behind your back. Like, wouldn't you rather at least have the knowledge and make sure they're getting the best ones?
Yeah,
If
and
they're
we're not
injecting them straight into their
100%.
body.
Right. And like, we're not advocating
No.
for
Yeah.
kids using this, but like, it's kind of like.
But if they're going to do it anyways.
Exactly. And
Like-
they're going to do it.
Yeah.
They're going to do everything.
Of course
And-
they are. It's just like alcohol.
Yes.
You need to educate your kids on how to drink responsibly. We cannot pretend like sex, same
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
They're going to have sex. You've got to teach them how to do this responsibly.
Right.
It's just educating. And unfortunately, now that peptides are such a huge thing, there's going to have to be some sort of education around this because I've had people say, like, I found this GLP-1 in my daughter's, drawer and sending me a picture.
Oh, they're not even refrigerating it.
No, they're not because
Oh,
they
no.
can't, which is even
Right.
worse, right?
Yes.
Shoot.
And they are sending me pictures and I'm like, I've never heard of this source. And then I go in and look for it and try to, okay, I think it looks like it could be very safe. It's okay. But like, let's educate them.
Could be Ozarka water.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah,
Could
they're
be.
just totally.
That they just
getting
paid $200 for.
Yeah, it could be. And that's the thing. So I think why this coaching is so important and what I do is so important is even adults, like you can get, I get people all the time, they're on a GLP-1. They don't understand their dosing. No one told them that they might become dehydrated. Number one, because it also tells your body often, I'm not thirsty. that they do have to maintain their protein intake, that they do have to keep their calories up, because guess what's going to happen? Your metabolism's going to go south. You're going to lose your hair. And all of these things will happen if you don't have the right coaching around it. Otherwise, they're very safe. And sourcing is huge. And I spent a very long time researching peptide companies, trying different peptide companies, even using compounding pharmacies, which I didn't have a lot of success with. And I really like this Loop Labs. I like them a lot. I think that the product is very clean. It's very safe. They do everything in the United States. They actually create the peptides in a lab in the United States. It's 99% clean, 99% purity, COAs. You can match every batch back to the testing that was done on it. So I just think that those are important things to look for if you're on the dark web and you're trying to figure out where to source. There are some good ones out there.
Well, when you were doing your research, were you having like peptides tested? How were you assuring that?
No, that's a great question. And I looked into it. You can have peptides tested. With this particular company that I'm with now, you can check the COA with the third-party testing company.
What's the COA?
It tells you that this peptide was tested third-party and it doesn't have these contaminants in it. It's authorizing that, yes, this has been tested and it's safe. And I think it's really important if you go back and you match the batch number to the COA they give you through the third party. You can do all that. I did that for a while. It's exhausting, and I don't think it's necessary once you find a place that you're safe with. And so there are companies out there that are very transparent. And I think if you call someone and they don't want to give you that information, run. Yeah, run away. Because there are so many companies out there that are safe and clean.
But I have friends that have, I think, that I've introduced to you, and then they go and do their own research, and then they potentially find it cheaper. But I'm like, cheaper doesn't always mean the same quality. So like,
true story.
You need to be sure, like, that's fine if you want to try that. But if it doesn't work, like, it might not be a quality peptide. And I've had multiple
friends come to me and say, well,
it didn't work.
Now I'm back. And that's great. And I don't mind. I'm like, go out there, go look for a cheaper product. Let me know what you find. Like, come back to me. Tell me what's out there. I don't care where people go. I mean, I care very deeply that they're doing something safe, but I don't need you to go through the company that I love, but I need you to be safe. And I have had people come back and say, this didn't work for me. And I'm like, well, let's try Loops, peptides.
Right. Well, and so many of them are compounded into or not compounded, but, combined into this acronym that I don't even know what it means. So then you don't really know how to know what's working for your body.
That's 100%
because
true.
If you combine 5 or 10 peptides into one, it's like, then how do you know what was actually helping you?
100%. Yeah. Even through a compounding pharmacy itself, like where your doctor might try to go get some peptides, they often add things like B12, which I can't have in my body, which is what I came across when I was using a compound vitamin C, or glycine, or things like, I'm like, why did you even put it in there? But they have to change the product so it's not exactly what it is so they can legally sell it. So you just don't know what people are adding. And everybody, like Kristen's so sensitive. I'm so sensitive. I need to know that what I'm getting is just what I ordered. I just want Tirzepatide. I just want BPC 157. I don't want some altered by this many molecule salts, whatever. Like, I don't want that in my body.
And then for me, like if it says start with 10, I need to start with 2.
Yep. Also a great coach.
Then I can try 4. And 6, but like, I've learned the hard way that like I cannot start. And some people do perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
They're like, I don't even feel anything. I need more.
Yep.
But I have to go like really low. Because when I started BPC, I was up the entire night.
Yeah.
And I did 10. And you're like, oh God, you got to go down to 2.
Yeah.
And then I was fine.
And then she worked her way up.
Yeah. And then immediately my stomach was like all the alarms going off.
Which I kind of love your like transformation, because I think that, like all the healing happens. It's just like, it doesn't need to be loud. And I think I always tell people that I start people so low on things. Some people get frustrated with me. And they're like, well, this isn't working. And I'm like, that's because I'd rather you feel nothing than too much. And then we work our way up. But I'd say most people really like doing that. And I ask people, I'm like, do you want to start at half for the first time? Or do you want to go for it?
And a lot of people at this age in life know themselves.
Yes,
like
100%.
I know that like I'm really sensitive. So are you.
Me too.
But
I
always have to remind myself the hard way.
Yeah.
Like the ozone.
Yes.
Like I just had ozone at the dentist, and within 60 seconds, it's actually in the same building, I was freaking out.
Yep.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so dizzy, please. And I was freaking out. And the lady's like, oh, wow, you weren't kidding. You're extremely sensitive. We'll take it out. And it took like 20 minutes for me to get
Calm
back
down.
to normal. And she had to give me the vitamin C and all this stuff. So now I know ozone is out.
Yep.
For me.
Well, and you bring up a great point, and this is kind of why this for me is one of the reasons I'm in this is I've been sensitive my whole life and nobody listens to me. Nobody. If I've gone under for like, colonoscopy or whatever, I'm like, you can give me less of what the proprol or whatever. Give me less. If I'm taking a Benadryl, I can take a children's size dose and I'm out for 3 days. So not many people listen and believe when we're sensitive. And I think that's the best part about working with people is I just treat everyone like they're sensitive because I am. And so it's important.
And I think a coach is really important because I have a friend who started on Tirzepatide, but started at a really high dose and it was very effective, but it's been harder to dose down because it was started out. And I think truly if they had worked their way up, they could have needed much less to get the
100%.
same effect.
Yep.
Well, then the side effects are so much greater.
Hair loss. Yes.
Oh, hair loss. When you start too high and you drop weight too fast, your body is not prepared and you will lose hair in 3 months down the road. You just will. Just like anything that shocks the body, grief or COVID or whatever. And so with that amount of weight loss so quickly, you are going to lose your hair.
Yeah. And I'm curious because this has been a conversation for a lot of women that I know that have been on Tirzepatide, whether it's microdose or not. There does come a time when you seem to shed hair. And does that come back?
It does.
Okay.
I have been on it for a year and I have never lost hair on it ever. In fact, I think I might have more hair now.
But that's because you're taking
But I'm on a
little.
microdose and I'm really on a microdose. Not I'm saying I'm on a microdose. I'm on a microdose. And I've never dropped 5 pounds in a week. I've never done any of that. I didn't need to. So it is a little bit of a different experience. But I have clients who have been on it for a long time and they've not lost their hair.
Right.
I do have one woman who came to me and she was on a high dose. And she said, I'm losing my hair. And I said, of course you are. You're teeny tiny.
Yes.
And you didn't need to be on this dose. And so that's why we need the coaching again.
Yes.
It's just like, hey, if you want to go this high and you want to drop weight quickly, I just want to let you know that this could happen. And so it's just nice to know.
And you just really lose some of the wonderful benefits of the drug because it can kind of like, I guess, tap out at some point,
It does. And that's why taking a break is so important. Take a month off. I have hacks for that.
Yeah.
Like you aren't going to go the whole pantry. There are hacks for taking a break. And so that's, again, back to coaching.
Yes.
Like there is a way to get around this and give our bodies a break. And even there are people that, have to go a little bit higher because that's the way their system works. And I'll bring them down to like a very low dose as their break. And then they can go back up and it's effective again.
Yes, exactly. Now, the other thing that I'm very interested in is the human growth hormone type. I don't think they're actually the full
human growth hormone secretagogue. So like an ipamorelin, a tesamorelin, CJC type of peptide. Those are really great. I use them more with men than women because women can have a lot of water retention with them.
Okay.
Well, men too,
Yes.
but they tend to tolerate it
Yes.
better. Like a man retaining 5 pounds of water,
He's not going to care.
he doesn't care.
Right.
A female retaining 5 pounds of water calls me and they're like, oh my God, it's making me gain weight. It's all water retention. It goes away in a few weeks. And if you can get through that hump, it's super supportive. It helps with sleep. It helps with muscle growth and body composition and all the things, visceral fat. I mean, these can be really great peptides because as we age, we don't produce as much growth hormone. And this just signals our body to release the growth hormone as we're sleeping at night. So it's best to take before bedtime. My husband can't take it before bed, so he takes it in the morning. But also we release growth hormone first thing in the morning. And so these are super supportive, but they're not for everyone.
Right.
And
What are the side effects of a growth hormone?
An actual growth hormone?
The ones that you're talking about.
The secretagogue.
Yeah.
Not a lot. There can be sleep issues for some people. The water retention is
Okay,
one.
so
what about this flushing stuff they talk about where I don't want to sit there and sweat?
No, people get flushing from you can get flushing from anything. B vitamins can give you flushing. But yes, the growth hormone secretagogues can cause some flushing, but it's temporary. It's not like,
what do you
it's
mean
not like
flushing?
hot,
Like
you
during
have
the
like
day?
a warmth. No, just typically after
like when
injection.
you just kind of almost like
a hot flash.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's like a hot flash. I don't hear a lot of my clients. Actually, I've never had anyone talk about that. I have more people that like, oh, I like didn't sleep or I got up really early, but they feel good.
Yeah.
They're just like, I woke up at 4 a.m. ready to go.
Which one is called like the exercise?
Oh, Sloop. SLUP.
Okay.
Yeah. That's like, people call that like exercise in
a bottle. So
why
does it like what does it
revs
do?
your metabolism.
Okay.
And so people can really have feelings from that too. They can sweat because it really makes your body feel like you're working out. So people will often get post-op, which I don't totally understand because you're not supposed to get your heart rate up, but to like make up for not being able to go to the gym.
That's
like
the funniest thing I've ever
I
heard.
know. I was researching.
I don't even know about
People
it.
will take it on the daily though, and just maybe like smaller doses of 5-amino, 1-MQ. Those types of products are really good together, but they can really, I mean, it's a feeling. I wouldn't suggest it for Kristen.
No,
I wouldn't suggest
I will
it for
not be
myself.
taking any
I think
flushing.
I would be nervous. But can that affect your blood pressure? I mean, it's probably not healthy for a lot of people.
It could affect your blood pressure. And I think it's something that you just have to monitor and check out. But it is great and people love it. People love to go work out on it. People love to not work out on it. It's awesome. It does some really great things, but it can feel a little stimulating.
Well,
because it really is.
When I was talking to my doctor, who a lot of doctors, they are good with certain peptides and, you know, like a lot of them are like, oh no, these are the ones I believe in. And I was surprised to hear him say like human growth hormone, he's okay. Like that made sense to him. And then I went down the wormhole and realized people in Hollywood have been using human growth hormone.
They've been saying J-Lo has been on it since, that's why she
Jennifer
literally
Aniston's
looks
been on it.
25.
Yeah.
Forever. But she also has amazing genetics. Let's be serious.
And she probably has a great surgeon too.
Yeah.
Well, but like, what does that even do? I mean, why does that help you stay young?
Because growth hormone, that's a great question.
Does it help your physique? Maybe you
absolutely
all of
your
it.
physique.
But I think if
your
you
muscle tone.
started it earlier, then you just don't age.
It's like
any the rest of us.
Think about when you microneedle. You started that, say you started microneedling when you're 20. That keeps the collagen keeps being produced and being produced, and it never stops. Now, if you start microneedling when you're a little bit later, or even Botox, you've got then now the wrinkles there.
Yes.
That, like you
They're
can do,
harder to
you can
hide.
only do what you can do from where you started. But if you're starting and you're keeping this continuous growth hormone release and you've never stopped, then your skin looks good. Your body is doing the things it did when it was
So it's
20.
like it's almost staying 25 for a long
It really is.
time.
It's
Right.
If you started early.
Yeah.
And the best thing is you sleep really well, which is what we lose our sleep. As we get older, it's harder and harder to stay asleep.
Well, and we were talking about, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce this word, but the growth hormones that are not the full blown, what is it called?
Growth hormone secretagogues.
Secretagogues. Yeah. Okay. Like an alien or something. But if you're using the real thing, then the secretagogues are less effective. So really, if you've never used anything, you should start
100%.
with the secretagogues.
I would never tell anyone to take actual growth hormone unless there was a medical condition, which does exist. You know, some kids are on growth hormone because they're not
growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they need it. And that's a very medical condition. And I think that's great. But otherwise, yes, I wouldn't ever.
Because this just stimulates your body to produce.
It's telling your body to do what it's supposed to do. It's not replacing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about sleep, because I would love to have something to help me sleep, because not even the estrogen patches are working.
You're just not high enough yet.
I know.
You just wait. Because I sleep all night.
Your
now.
progesterone
It's so
should
good.
be the sleep.
Well, my
The sleep?
progesterone is really high, but I'm still just not.
I think you just haven't found the right mix of
Balance.
HRT, and one day it's going to be like
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding.
I actually think I probably need more estrogen.
Get on it.
But for these secretagogues,
Yes.
whatever they are,
I actually think so. In my opinion, if we're talking about sleep, I love Epitalon. It is It's a bioregulator. It's been researched forever. It was discovered by a scientist in Russia who did a ton of, we could go on PubMed and talk about all of this guy's research. It's fascinating. And he recently just passed away, which is a bummer, but he came up with this bioregulator, Epitalon, and I am not freaking kidding you. I was the one that was waking up 15 times a night, and I could not get it under control, no matter what. And I did one round of Epitalon. Friends, I sleep through the night every night. My Oura Ring didn't know what to do with me. It was like, what is that? Yeah, I get 91 sleep scores. I was getting like 70, 75, 80. 85 was really good for me. I mean, it's crazy. And
so but you just did one round of it?
I did. So you can cycle it 1, 2, or 3 times a year. I'm going to do 3.
Okay.
And it lengthens the telomeres on the caps of our DNA. And as we age, the telomeres shorten. And so it lengthens them, which is really cool because it resets your circadian rhythm, which is crazy to think about. And I did feel a little weird on it the first few days, but I was like, I very much trust the peptide process. I'm like, I'm going to hang with it. And I'm so glad I did. I actually think when you ask my top 5 peptides, that would be in that list because it
especially for women,
my life
cannot, which is like, unfortunately, most women after like 40, that's one of their primary symptoms is like, I used to sleep wonderfully. Now I either am up all night or I can't fall asleep or I wake up at a weird time and can't fall back asleep. And then like you hear it until women sadly die that's what they're dealing with. So maybe.
And that leads to a whole nother.
That makes me crazy. And our lack of sleep makes me like, I'm not.
Well, it's a form of torture.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, you're not releasing growth hormone.
Right.
When you wake up, so your growth hormone is released while you're sleeping. If we aren't sleeping, we're not releasing growth hormones. We're going to look older. We're going to feel older and we're going to die sooner. And we're going to have neurodegenerative brain disorders like Alzheimer's and dementias. Well, that is a form of dementia. But it's so important for us to sleep. Like when I work with people, I'm like, number 1, how are you sleeping? Because that determines how everything else is going to play out.
Well, and so many of my friends have just like written it off that that's going to be their new normal. And it breaks my heart because I'm like, no, I had that for a year of literally just a disaster zone of sleep. And for the 44 years prior, I sleep like a baby.
I
can fall asleep.
Standing up.
Yeah, I basically did.
Year. Yeah.
And it will come back. But it's a process to get there. And I have so many friends that are just like, oh, yeah, I don't sleep. I wake up tired. And I'm just like, that breaks my heart because you really could feel better. But
just with sleep.
But it's hard work to figure out the
and
right
we produce less melatonin as we age. And I don't know that replacing with actual melatonin is always great for everyone. There are schools of thoughts. There are wellness doctors and biohackers out there that are like, I take 50 milligrams of whatever melatonin a night. And I'm like, that is crazy. And then there are other people that fully disagree with that. So
I know I've seen both.
Land very well. Yeah.
Well, back to this
Epitalon.
Epitalon. What is a typical cycle of that?
So you run it for like 20 days straight. And then you wait and you could go 6 months later, run it again. I'll probably do it twice this year.
But you said 2 to 3 times a year max.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So you just have to know when to space
it. And it elongates the what?
Telomeres. Telomeres.
Not telemeters.
Telomeres. I am butchering this.
Telomere.
Thank God.
I mean, it's a Russian thing. Yeah, no, it's not a Russian thing. It's in our body. But telomere. Either way, it's lengthening that. So it's keeping
which is how when we were young, they were naturally.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're just helping it get back to its natural state.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, all these things.
I heard this one, what was his name? Dr. Lee. He was on maybe Mark Hyman's podcast a long time ago. And I heard him talk about it and he could not love it more. And then after the podcast, I Googled him, like, want to see what his face looks like. He looks so young and he claims it's the Epitalon, and he has no reason to.
He doesn't own Epitalon.
Yeah. He can't even sell it because at the time of the podcast, you couldn't get it because you could only really get it in Russia.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I don't even know if you can help me understand this, but this FDA stuff with peptides, it seems as though it's approved for certain peptides. Of course, it is with insulin, and of course, it is with the GLPs. That's why there's so much resistance, and people are making them on their own. Yeah. And there has to be a disclaimer.
Yeah.
What is the disclaimer on a peptide? They're just not
for human consumption.
That's
how they get around.
Research only.
Research only
for human consumption. There are all of these disclaimers. And it really is not because they're not safe, as long as you're sourcing them
Mhm.
properly and you're using the right coach.
But is it a conspiracy with the
Well, now you're getting political.
No, okay. I shouldn't. I'm just trying to. Okay.
So
we're not
maybe-
going there.
Yeah,
we're not going
maybe
there.
we should.
No, I'm just.
we
trying,
don't have
no,
all those answers.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to understand why they aren't approved by the FDA.
It's hard. Okay. To get FDA approval, you have to go through tons of clinical trials, which
Right.
cost billions of
Yes.
dollars, which has to be done by a pharmaceutical company. And a pharmaceutical company, if they cannot fully patent
Mhm. They're not going to put the
yeah.
money into the
They don't
research.
want to
Exactly,
put it in.
that's the answer.
Because it's not
Yeah.
for them
Yes.
only. Then everyone can make it.
Yes.
That's why Eli Lilly. Ugh, we won't.
Cut.
That's why, yeah. That's why some of the pharmaceutical companies are really going after everyone right now, the GLP-1s, because they are like, we own this.
Mhm.
You can't make it.
Because
and
they
sell it for
did do
cheaper.
all the research.
Because they paid for all that
Oh,
research,
right?
right?
Because it was used for
for the diabetes.
yes.
Yep.
And then that's how they discovered
they-
that everyone was suddenly skinny.
Yes. And then
They're
they
like,
made-
oh, ding, ding, ding.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And then it was like, ooh, who can patent this? We're going to patent this. We're going to make our own formulation. We're going to make it Tirzepatide. We're going to make Retatrutide, which will hit the market
Mhm.
here soon.
Now that's the answer. So
It's the research because they've spent millions
Yeah.
and millions of dollars. So you do
Billions
have
of dollars.
billions
Yep.
in this case.
and they can't patent this or
it's
all
hard
these
to patent some of these peptides because it's not a sure thing, because it's like a BPC 157. We all know it works. It's been used forever. All the
Mhm.
athletes use it. All of, and it even got banned because
Right.
they didn't want people to heal their
Right,
injuries,
right.
which is crazy to me. It's not building new muscle. It's just healing. But anyway, it's hard because it's created from a
Created in your body.
protein in your stomach.
Mhm.
So it's a harder thing to patent. So they'd have to change something about it. Even, a Tirzepatide, they've altered a little bit, right, to make it extended life in your body. So it's not exactly a GLP-1 GIP combination as your body produces it.
Mhm.
They've altered it slightly in the lab so that they can then patent it
Okay.
as their own.
Okay, gotcha.
So then can you get a non-patented GLP-1
I mean, that's kind
from
of,
a compounded
you can
pharmacy?
use it for research only.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Which
but-
is what
But
all
they
this
want
is,
to,
that-
yeah.
but technically they want to go after
No, yeah, I
those
get it.
companies right now. So they're shutting them down left and right so that they're just renaming it. Like,
Mhm.
for example, Loop. It's called Loop Lean.
Right.
They can't call it Tirzepatide.
yeah,
They can't even call it it's hard to even call it like GLP-2 because
right.
they're worried about, being
And-
caught.
And then there's another one coming out with a big company. What is it? The
Retatrutide.
I thought that was already out.
It in research
In
only.
research
settings,
only
it's
world.
out.
Okay.
in the
So-
underworld.
A very, very large pharmaceutical company who shall not be named in this podcast so they don't come after us is creating Retatrutide, which hits 3 receptors. So now it's like Tirzepatide plus it hits a glucagon receptor, which helps burn more fat
Mhm.
efficiently in your body. So you'll hear a lot of more men talking about it, like gym bros love it. I've used it with clients.
What have you
It's
seen?
different. With the Retatrutide,
Mhm.
I like it. I think there's more energy with it,
Mhm.
but it doesn't quill the food noise like the Tirzepatide for everyone, for
Mhm.
most, and especially women. And so I think gym bros seem to love it and they swear by it, and it does.
But they're also
technically-
just trying to get big.
right, and it's
Yeah.
burning fat.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
burning fat. It's burning fat more efficiently. Like it is. I mean, tried and true in the research, it really works, but it doesn't work for everyone. And one of the side effects is it really can increase your heart rate quite a bit. And so when people get to the higher doses that are most effective, they're kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't handle the heart rate
Oh, right.
increase.
Oh, I would freak
Whereas
out.
some people
my gosh.
can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But at a microdose, I just don't think it's as beneficial. Maybe. I don't know. As I'm seeing in my experience, people are going back to the Tirzepatide. I like Retatrutide.
Mhm.
I feel really good on it. Again, I'm a microdoser.
Mhm.
So I'm not getting up to those high levels, but it definitely changed. Like I'm hungry on it, very hungry, because
Wow.
it's speeding up my metabolism.
Mhm.
But I'm more energetic. So
Right.
I enjoy it. And I'm not trying to lose any weight. So I'm okay using it.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of people that don't love it as much. So
Well, I don't want to have hunger. I don't want to be hungry all the time because that's just
I
annoying.
always tell people try it and see how you feel. Some people love
Oh my
it. Some people
gosh.
hate it. Yeah. I know. No one wants to be hungry all the time.
I wish that I could eat with an IV.
Okay,
too.
that's weird. What?
No, because
I
it takes a
love
lot of
eating.
time to
It
like
does
try to
to
I know,
sit
but
down
it's
and chew and get
social
it in
and
your
like
teeth.
that's how you like
right.
talk to people and spend time with each
No,
other.
you're right. You're
I
right.
do-
I forget about all
I
those
do
things.
I think it's when we're in this phase in life where we're trying to do all of these
Yes.
things as women and we're like, oh shit, I forgot to eat.
Yes.
Well, I don't eat a lot of meals, but then when I do eat the
No,
meal,
that's
then
it. Right. Whenever I'm in my relaxation mode, like my boyfriend loves to cook me meals. And like when I'm not working, that's really a wonderful thing. Like to sit there and not be what do you call it?
Mindful, to be mindfully eating.
No, multitask.
Oh.
You know, you can just focus on
Yeah.
your meals.
So
But
Yeah, I love to go to a restaurant. I love good food, but I
yeah, you
I
don't
also
wanna
love
be
a smoothie.
starving all day.
Yeah,
I love
nobody
it.
does.
I eat breakfast, I eat lunch, I eat dinner. I make sure I have a certain amount of protein. I'm very, very, very strict about that. But
I have some friends who are seeing like really negative impacts from their friends. Like, I won't name any names, but a friend of mine just went to a bachelorette party and she said it was the most boring bachelorette party she's ever been to in her life because the bride was on GLP-1s and half of the freaking bridal party. And everyone just ordered Diet Cokes and sat around and no one went out to eat. And they like sat in their room watching movies.
well, that group of women might lose some hair, and that group of women will kill their metabolism.
Yeah.
And
so
this
she
might
was
be
like,
fun for a
I
minute.
will never do a GLP-1.
Yeah.
They were so boring. And I was like thinking to myself, well, I think they're on too high of a dose, but I'm not a doctor.
Right.
But yeah, like I do
you-
think
Wonder what people are thinking. Like, if I stop eating, how long can this go for, right? And what happens? And what happens to my metabolism?
body.
Well, I know
Yes.
a couple people that have had to have surgery on their bowels from blockages because they're not like
Mhm.
that. They're taking the medicine, but not doing,
You need fiber. You need
all the things,
magnesium.
water.
Yeah, while you're on it, especially. You've got to keep that moving. I always tell people, I'm like, if you haven't pooped in 2 days, call me. We need to get on it.
Yes.
But it's pretty rare when people stay hydrated and they're eating real food with fiber. It's not
fine.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Well, this is why they need coaching.
Yeah.
So tell people where they
I
can
know, but
find
there's
you.
so many people just winging it out
No,
there,
of
which is
course they are.
terrifying.
It
Yeah.
is terrifying.
But then all the online information is just so
It's all over the
so
place.
much
Well,
is
once they get their
inaccurate.
their bowel surgery, then they'll be back
Yeah,
and
then
ready to do
exactly.
it. the
Then
right
they'll
way.
be like, Brooke, I need you because I totally screwed that up.
Because
Yeah.
most of us have to learn the hard way.
Me
Yeah,
included.
me
we
too.
all
Yeah.
do. We all do.
Mhm.
Lessons in life.
Yeah, so tell us more about where everyone can find you.
So yes, great. I just got a website. I don't know why I was avoiding website. I was also avoiding social media for a while. I am on social media. Gosh, I don't even know what it is.
I think
Optimized
it's-
by
yeah,
design,
it's
but
the
there's like
Instagram.
There's underscores.
Yeah, there's underscores. So it's like underscore optimized underscore by underscore design underscore something like this. And we can. Do you have show notes? We could.
Yeah,
Oh
of
yeah.
course.
We'll
And then
plug
I
you.
have a website, and it's optimizedbydesign.net. And that's where you can find me, and you
Great.
can
So people
schedule
can
an
have a
appointment.
consult with
Yep.
you.
Yep, right
Across
through the
the
website.
country.
Yep, anywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Across the world.
across the world.
There's
Love that. Why
WhatsApp.
not?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
She can.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can WhatsApp.
Mhm.
So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I know
Thank
we
you
just
guys.
like touched
just
the
skin.
tip of the iceberg with peptides, but you have taught me so much in like 2 months, and I can't wait to see but it's expensive. So I have
Yeah.
to kind of like decide
Baby
what
steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, love it. Thank
Interesting.
you so much.
Yeah,
for getting
thank
on the
you guys for
podcast.
having me. This is
Yes.
fun.
Mhm.
yeah.